This week, the Orange Pi Neo handheld was announced, and it has huge implications for Linux gaming. We'll talk about it. And what does January's Steam hardware survey tell us about the growth of Linux gaming in general? We'll explore it. Plus, a new update makes it easier than ever to play non-Steam games on deck. All of this and more today. That's right, it's time for some Linux gaming news. Have you heard about non-Steam launchers? Well, it's a tool that helps you install and manage non-Steam launchers on SteamOS-like distros. Non-Steam launchers takes the hassle out of playing games that aren't in your Steam library. You can install from the EA app, GOG Galaxy, Battle.net, Rockstar Games Launcher, Epic Games Store, Amazon Games, Xbox Game Pass, and even Ubisoft. Ugh. That's not even an exhaustive list. So this app will install any of the supported launchers as well as any games that you own on them. And it can now add them to your Steam library and you can manage them from there. They're also working on a Decky Loader plugin. Now it's a neat little project and I cannot wait to see where it goes from here. You can download it with the link below and you can also find a link to their Patreon to support their work. All right, next up, so the Orange Pi Neo. Have you heard about this? At FOSDEM 2024 last week, we saw the Manjaro team announce the Orange Pi Neo handheld. Now, Orange Pi haven't actually talked about this themselves, but Manjaro has. So they've actually got a dedicated page for this device on manjaro.org. And looking at this thing, it's kind of impressive. It's got a Ryzen 7 7840U, a 7-inch 16:10 display at 1920 by 1200. It has 500 nits of brightness and 128 Hz refresh rate. It's running Manjaro Gaming Edition, which is an immutable variant of Manjaro with updates coming through Open Gamepad UI. It looks like there are two options for RAM, 16 or 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5 at 7500 megahertz. Storage will range from 512 gigabytes up to 2 terabytes of PCIe 4.0 NVMEs. In the more common 2280 form factor, the battery is listed as 50 megawatt hours. The triggers and the thumbsticks are both using Hall effect sensors. There's a 6-axis gyroscope. There's 2 USB 4.0 Type-C connectors, which means that there should be more room for expandability. There's 1 SD card slot. It has Bluetooth 5.3 and it has Wi-Fi 6E. It comes with a 65 watt power adapter and it comes in black and white variants. One odd thing that they touted several times here is that the chassis has no exposed screws, and they say that this is a selling point. Now, hopefully that means that there's an easy way to get into this. Otherwise, I don't see why they would be using that in their marketing copy. I mean, for our crowd, the Linuxy crowd, I just don't see that as being a selling point. Other than that though, I'm really stoked for this thing. When you look at the design mockups for the Orange Pi Neo, it has a really important feature though, dual trackpads. Hopefully these have some level of haptic feedback like the Steam Deck's trackpads do, and if that is the case, I think that this thing is just about perfect. No word on pricing yet, but if they can sell this thing at a competitive price, then I am all in. It's a really cool looking device with pretty much the right specs. The only thing that I can think of is I would prefer an 800p screen for battery life and performance reasons, but honestly, I can't wait to get my hands on this thing. Now, here's a question. Do you want to stay up to date with Linux gaming news? Do you just hate YouTube and want a better way to watch these videos? Check out my new website, subscribe2.me. It's a place where I am hosting all of these videos. I have next Monday's video for YouTube live already on subscribe2.me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, well, this video came out last night over there. Subscribe2.me also features content from other Linuxy creators. And if you want, you can like, comment, and even subscribe using your existing Fediverse account. Now, subscribe2.me would not be possible without my patrons, so I want to thank them for their continued support. These guys make what I do here possible. If you believe in the work that I'm doing, you can use the links below to make your pledge over on Patreon. It's all greatly appreciated. Now, if you're a fan of Mega Man and you're willing to roll the dice with a Capcom game, then there's a Humble Bundle for you. Now, the Mega Man franchise pack comes with an excellent selection of retro titles. There are several collections of games here. In total, they include Mega Man 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as Mega Man ZX and ZX Advent. It includes Mega Man X and X2 through X8. They also have the classic Mega Man games here, spanning from the original all the way through Mega Man 10. and even the latest iteration, Mega Man 11. So this is the whole franchise for Mega Man, and there's a huge number of games that you can get here when you buy the full pack for $20 or more. As always, a portion of humble purchases go towards charity, and you can use my affiliate link below in the pinned comment to secure a bundle for yourself. Okay, this week the January Steam hardware survey was released, and with it we got renewed insight into Linux market share, at least in the gaming sector. The first interesting tidbit to note is that Windows grew by about 0.1%, while macOS shrank by nearly the same amount, and Linux took a much smaller loss at just 0.02%. And when you look at the Steam Deck's graphics card in the GPU section, you see that it actually grew by 0.04%. That's pretty impressive. The Steam Deck is still growing, and it's growing strong. I mean, if you look back at December, the overall deck GPU percentage was just 0.78%. But the numbers get even more telling when we drill down into the Linux section. SteamOS Hollow now accounts for 42% of all Linux users on the hardware survey, and that grew month over month by about 1.6%. Arch Linux lost about 0.1%, and it's now down to 7.75%, while Ubuntu lost 0.24%, and it's now at 6.8% overall. This isn't necessarily a bad thing though, as the Flatpak version of Steam grew by 0.6%, and it's now just 1 percentage point away from Ubuntu. And the overall losses could be accounted for the fact that people are uninstalling the native version and installing the Flatpak version. We don't know, we don't have enough data to make that determination. Another interesting thing to note is that the Steam Deck's GPU now accounts for over 42% of all Linux hardware on the survey. That means that there is a fraction of people who are installing a different distro on their Steam Deck. When we take all this into account and we make a few educated guesses about the number of monthly active users on Steam, well, then we get a total number of Steam Decks and Linux users accounted for in this hardware survey. Keep in mind that these numbers are approximate, but if there were about 245 million monthly active users on Steam, well, that would mean that about 2 million of them were using Steam Deck, and about 5 million of them were Linux users. And that also means that just under 4 million were Mac users. I'm curious to hear your reaction to my analysis here. How many monthly active users do you think there are? Adjusting that number could drastically change my analysis, so I'm eager to hear your thoughts. And while you're down there, why not like that smash button? It's the best way to tell YouTube you want to see more videos just like this. And thanks. There's a brand new SteamOS preview that everyone is talking about, but what does it do? Well, it actually brings a fix for Persona 5 Reloaded. This fix improves ray trace reflections in the game. That's really the biggest thing in this preview, and there are a lot of folks that are happy about this. Valve has been making a point of improving the Steam Deck's ray tracing experience, and it has me wondering, what are they cooking up over there? Are they preparing the deck to run their next game perfectly? I would love to know exactly what they've got going on. Now, this release also saw some improved corner tracking on the OLED's trackpads, and they also fixed 2 rare crashes during session changes. Well, that's all the Steam Deck news that I could find this week. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like that smash button and subscribe for more videos just like this, and check out subscribe2.me for more content. I'll see you next time.